It is the RIOT podcast, and we're going to, cast the pods.
We're ready.
Ooh, that was what they called the pod people on Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Because they grew in these pods.
Ew.
What?
Let's just keep it to podcast.
Okay. But, are we pod people on the podcast?
Yeah, actually, that'd be amazing, but no.
I'm starving. You guys can't hear it. Nikki can't. My stomach keeps being like, it's very hungry.
But you've had stuff, haven't you? I mean, you had some snacks.
For breakfast. I have no incentive. Actually, I have tons of incentive.
You need to make breakfast in the morning.
I need to do it again.
You need to have eggs.
I used to do it every day, and I quit. Then I started working out in the morning, and I quit. And now I'm just like coffee and cigarettes.
Just take away the cigarettes.
All right, I don't smoke, but still.
There's just coffee.
That's all there is.
You just need to take 10 minutes the night before and make your breakfast.
Yep.
That's all you need to do.
That's a great idea. You know what would be even better?
Is if you did it.
I need to get somebody to take 10 minutes to make my breakfast. That's how I end up at McDonald's.
We even have a break room here. You could make eggs and stuff, but when you come in the morning.
I should try that, actually, because by then I would be awake enough to want to.
And I know you can make eggs in the microwave, but it's also just fine to...
Yeah, I'll just, fry them up.
Yeah, already at Costco, they have the already made bacon, so you can just heat that up with it.
Good? That sounds good.
Yeah, and then make some toast. You love toast.
I'll tell you what I'm actually going to do. I think I'm going to go to Wendy's.
No, you could. You can do
Nikki,
that.
Remember how yesterday in the show we were like, breakfast is struggling at whatever.
At fast food establishments.
This is my part for the economy.
Well, go get a chicken biscuit sandwich, and then that should be good.
Let's open the Wendy's app and see if they have any deals
Any
today.
coupons? Well, I think they want to hear the podcast stuff, too.
What now?
Do you think they want to hear, in today's podcast, this is what you'll be hearing?
People want to hear about the podcast?
No, I think the listeners of the podcast are like, any moment now, they'll just be like, it's the riot, and then here's our podcast.
What is this? There are no coupons now. It's rewards.
They're giving up.
Rewards? Nobody wants rewards. I want a discount.
You want a coupon.
Okay. All right. So in the podcast today, we talk about food a lot. Cheetos Mac and Cheese.
That one looks good.
We are happy to report they found the pool pooper. You maybe didn't even know there was a pool pooper.
But if you're in the Detroit area at a housing development complex, there was one.
We see how Lady Gaga is paving a way for Nikki. We talk about the CW actually canceling something, DNA testing, stealing hand sanitizer, rice and heart disease.
Aww. More food.
The Candyman, Transformers. Anything else? Walmart drive-ins.
That's about it.
Yeah. So I hope that you guys enjoy it. And I hope I can find a coupon.
You go get your breakfast. You go get something. Look online. Maybe there's something else.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry.
You're not stopping there, are you?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I feel like I'm probably going to dedicate the next 45 minutes or so to seeking out that Wendy's coupon I need.
Well, for our podcast listeners, you could watch us host an after show. We do our morning show in the morning, and then tomorrow on Facebook, we're doing an after show. So you can hang out with us on Facebook. So when you're done with the podcast, go over to RadioU RIOT and just like the page and get notifications set up. And then tomorrow morning, you can hang out with us.
Nikki, Hobbs and Shaw, 4K, $9.99. What do you think?
No, the movie you wouldn't want it. Just watch it once and that's it.
That's all I need?
Yeah, that's all you need.
Okay.
Have a great day, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
The definition of insanity is putting the riot on again and again and expecting a better result. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
I'll tell you, I keep seeing... people are making their postponements and their cancellations, right? And I see them hitting, it's almost like it hits an industry.
Yeah.
Like it's hitting the movie industry or this industry. But I just want you to know, if you like Trick or Treat.
Oh, no one thinks that's going to happen.
Shots fired.
Already? I mean, we're just into August.
Shots fired. I don't know much about it, but apparently in Salem, Massachusetts, they're well known for a lot of their things that take
Fall
place.
festivals,
in
would
October.
You?
They basically have canceled everything.
Oh, well, I'm not surprised because they get a lot of tourism with that.
The Great Salem Pumpkin Walk, canceled. The Salem Food Truck Festival, canceled. Mm-hmm. The Biz Baz Street Fair, canceled. Kids Costume Parade, gone.
Canceled.
Halloween Pet Parade, gone.
Not the pet parade.
The Pet Parade.
No!
Think of the pets,
Not my
Nikki.
dogs.
Think of the pets.
They wanted to be in the pet parade.
It's not happening.
Why?
Fiesta shows, food trucks, no. Lanterns in the village, gone.
All right, we get it. All the stuff is gone for this year.
Mayor's night out.
Well, he still does.
Of course, the mayor still gets his.
So I guess, well,
canceled.
again, that is because that is such a touristy thing, and they're just wanting people to not plan to come.
Just a heads up.
Yeah, so they're not wanting you to plan to take your vacation or your trip then.
Shots fired, Nikki.
Anybody want to guess on, is there going to be anything else for Halloween?
I don't know. Like, I imagine don't you think they'll come up with, like, for kids in neighborhoods, don't you think they'll come up with, like, a thing?
Well, I think they'll encourage no parties for all of us, but then for everybody else, probably what? It's not even like they can just throw the candy or just leave it out because it's everybody touching all the stuff.
What if we all wore, I mean, we're going to be wearing masks anyway.
It's true.
I'm going to go to Halloween as a doctor. I'm wearing this mask.
Make it safer for everyone. But yeah, I don't know about the candy part. So.
Yeah, I don't know either. So, well.
Okay, well, that's fine.
I will tell you this. Like, if you're afraid there won't be candy for you this year, candy is available at almost every gas station near you.
You can still buy your own candy.
So
no one's canceling that. In fact, it's flourishing.
And in what is a reversal on their normal October policies, gas stations are requiring masks this year rather than holding signs that say
Don't
you
wear
won't be
any.
allowed to come in if you're wearing one.
So it's almost like it's trick-or-treat already. Is that what you're saying?
Wow, look at that.
You can just have your DIY trick-or-treat when you go into the gas station.
Perfect. Fantastic.
What you're about to hear will live on the internet forever. Sorry, internet. The worst of the Riot podcast.
You know, Nikki, sometimes people do the right thing. Mm-hmm. A lot of times people don't. In fact, I think we're all familiar with. We don't even have time to get into all the things that are being done wrong in all the places. But the people at Cheetos,
Are they doing something right?
they might be doing something right.
It's an encouraging thing to see this.
Cheetos Mac and Cheese, Nikki.
It makes sense. It works.
Oh, my gosh.
So it's through them, right? It's not like brought to you by Kraft or something.
No. They're doing it themselves. They might be
going
doing it
rogue.
right.
So Cheetos has announced through Walmart, let's see, different flavors.
Mm-hmm.
Cheetos Mac and Cheese Bold and Cheesy.
That's the one I want.
Are you sure you don't want the Mac and Cheese Flaming Hot? That sounds good.
Listen, after what happened at that Chinese buffet,
With the Flaming Hot Cheetos?
I can't have Flamin' Hot anymore.
I don't even think those were Flaming Hot Cheetos. I think those were like a side brand, and they'd been out for years.
I
so.
know, but it ruined it for me.
Mac and Cheese Cheesy Jalapeno. That sounds good. So
Nope.
these will roll out to even more retailers next year. They'll be in box or single cup format, you know, like the individual mac and cheese cups.
Oh, those are powerful. Those are built for the microwave.
Exactly. Those I actually prefer than the box one. The box one's too much effort, which is sad.
What, adding the cheese and the butter, it's too much?
Well, you have to put it in its own, you have to do dishes then. So
Okay. All
if
right.
you have the individual one, you don't.
Yeah, that way you're creating more waste. Good call.
You're right. I am.
It's cool. But you know what? I'm not using disposable cups anymore, so
It'll balance out.
it'll balance out.
It's not as cheesy waste.
So there's that.
It's fine. So that's started off.
The boxes and single-serving cups, they'll be 98 cents. What a savings!
I looked online for like our local Walmart. I can find all of it except the Flaming Hot ones. I have a feeling that's going to be the hardest one to find.
You think so?
Yeah.
I want the bold and cheesy. Just give it to me straight, man.
You can find that one.
And the other thing I appreciate is I don't like elbow macaroni. I mean, obviously, I can and will eat it, but my preference is for a spiral.
That's what these are.
I know.
Oh, my gosh.
They're doing well.
So, again, this will have a full rolled out next year with other retailers, but for now, it'll just be Walmart for the rest of the year.
Oh, we should try it.
We should. I'll get them all, and then we could We could have a mac and cheese morning.
Mac and cheese party.
Doesn't that sound fun?
Mac and cheese party.
There was another article that was about like how mac and cheese could be the new craze for like breakfast foods. So we could totally do that.
I'm game. Let's do this.
So we'd have to make it in the break room, but we could do that too.
Mac and cheese breakfast. I love it.
Like, why are you bringing 3 big pots in? No reason.
Why are you asking questions?
Why are you turning the stove on? No reason.
None of your
Nikki,
Like,
business.
there's nobody here to ask those questions. Nobody comes in this early.
Oh yeah, that's true. They won't even care.
You and I could not show up, and nobody here would notice.
I don't think anybody would call us on it for quite some time.
It would be a while. Nikki and I haven't been to work in a year.
They're like, we've never come in that early anymore. We just took it, and then they should be happy because we took initiative and like we
made mac and cheese.
Well, we did something. Yeah. No, like we stopped coming in so early in the morning.
Well, we read an article that about how important it is to get some sleep.
Yeah, it's for our health, along with the box of mac and cheese. It's got to be the worst for us. But those look good. So we'll try the 3 flavors when we get them all.
Oh, I want them.
They even make morning people want to reach for the snooze button. It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
So I was helping a family member get set up with some cell phone service, which, by the way, I feel like I should be. It's not that I've gone to class for it, but they should confer on me a PhD of
some sort of
cell phone
doctorate or
research or what. I don't know. But
is it less pressure when it's not actually your phone that you'll be using, but it's for someone else to help them out?
I'm weirdly clear-headed about it. I'm not like, ooh, but for a little bit more, I could have this. Ooh.
Well, you know how like when your parents ask you to help with setting something up, it can be a bit stressful, even though it's not directly something you'll be using.
Oddly enough, this has not been very stressful for me. I've just been like, whatever. But in the middle of this, I had agreed to help them sell a couple of their phones on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, the old ones.
That is a nightmare.
It's become unpleasant.
Well, I think it's not just Facebook Marketplace itself, but I feel like once you move into selling a cell phone, you have moved into like the weirdest scam territory.
Well, you know why? Well, you're also just getting a lot of people who are going to resell it from you.
Right.
And it's a lot of like places that are going to be doing it, stores, online things. They're just taking yours.
It's crazy.
So you're getting into that world even though you don't realize it. You think you're just selling it to someone who needs a new phone, and that's normally not the case.
It's just like, here, it's an old Android phone, whatever. Like there's practically nothing to just here. Just you want it or not. People are like, you know what? Would you be willing to ship to
then that's a scam. You never ship.
Like Makistan.
Is that weird?
Like, no. Like you have to come and pick it up locally. Okay.
But could you send me we'll mail it to you right now, but if you'll go and just send us payment.
I'm just absolutely loaded with these people where you're just like this. You just look at it, you're like, scam.
And you get your hopes up when you see a notification like, yeah, we got a buyer. Woo!
Like, no. I think I may have one actual legitimate buyer. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't that be something?
Well, now that you said it, it's not going to be.
It's probably going to go up in smoke, sure.
Yeah.
Well, there it is. Selling phones now.
Yes,
that's my new.
At the door.
That's my new thing. I sell phones now.
You sell phones. Now you've become the scam thing of just like reselling all these phones.
Yep. So if anybody wants to participate in my scam, I have a few alleys scattered throughout the city where I'll meet you, and I'm selling out of my trunk.
It's great.
And of course, it's not stolen. Come on.
That is what a lot of people think. So I think that's where when it is someone who wants to buy it through Facebook, everybody's just kind of a little nervous about what someone and why someone is selling it, and then why someone would actually buy it.
Well, I'm selling some pretty old phones here. So if
why just turn them in someplace? Like the machines?
They wouldn't take them.
Oh, they're that old.
Well, no, it's not that they're like terrible phones.
Well, no, they're not current enough for the machine to buy it.
I don't know. I haven't tried the machine. That's fair. But like I tried to do I was getting them set up and they're like $100 credit plus your trade-in plus whatever. So they had 3 phones and they were all like, one of them was a Samsung Galaxy S6. And it was like, if you have the S6 Edge, the S6 Sport, the S6 whatever, like they would take everything but
the one that the person had.
And it was just like, what? What is this?
Yeah, try one of the machine things.
That's not a bad idea.
You thought they were bad live? Well, just wait until you hear this. The Worst of the Riot podcast with Obadiah and Nikki.
2020, well, I guess 2019, maybe just this decade, maybe this century. Should we call it the century of the pooper?
Yeah, I think that's fine. It was really prevalent last summer with serial ones, meaning like people who were just going back and back and back and still doing this and then finding out who this person was.
There was Superintendent Pooper.
Yeah, that was my favorite still. He was a super pooper.
I think the one that I like even more than him was like the history teacher or whatever that every single day went over to the park. Mm-hmm. He would go over to a park, like drive over to a park in the middle of the day and defecate on the side of the bathroom at the park. And he would go with he would take his own toilet paper.
Yeah.
So that he was just ready to do this.
There's a rush or
sometimes
something.
A couple of times a day.
Don't even know why.
He just needed to feel alive.
And now we understand that more, because don't we all?
Right.
We just didn't know that this was the way to do it.
Well, I can tell you right now that in Macomb County in Michigan, they have been on the lookout for a serial pooper. They've been having somebody that's been coming to the neighborhood pool.
The Buckingham Recreational Facilities Association.
And pooping in the pool.
Who does that? That's another level. You're doing damage with that because they have to clean it.
Oh, man.
They say that the person has been finally caught.
Yeah, okay, here's what kills me. You read into it. They have video of this person pooping in the pool, which I know that some of you are not going to like what I'm going to say, but I'm going to need to see that video.
Where is it? It's not. I don't see it on the article.
It's not. I want to know, do they get in the pool? Do
they hover over?
Do they hover?
I don't know. That's a good question. That is a good question.
I want to know, if they're in or what.
You know why? Because we're not in this world. I don't understand this world.
No, I know. I need to know, and I need to talk about the emotional aftermath of each time.
Well, I feel bad for the person who has to be in charge of it. So you have a pool attendant has to be hired to remain on site until the end of summer so that these pool shutdowns don't happen again, because they kept having to close the pool because they'd have to clean it.
Well, they caught this person. They're not allowed to use the pool for the rest of the summer. And that has a double meaning, by the way.
Well, as both the bathroom and swimming.
Yeah. And the other thing is that they are talking about restitution options being considered. In other words, what? With enough good behavior, you're allowed to come down to the pool again?
Maybe.
No.
Well, then it means it's someone who lives in the neighborhood.
No. You have lost your privileges.
Yeah, you don't need it back.
You lost them.
You earned the pool.
I'll just tell you this. The first time you intentionally pooped in the pool, that's it. You lost your pool privileges forever.
Well, let's say first time if it's an accident or medical.
I said intentional.
But if it's intentional, then Obi's right. You don't get to go back to the pool.
If you're just some kid who
and we need to go find your parents.
We got to talk to mom and dad. But
I want to know if it's younger or if it's someone who knows way better and this is just how they're acting out at an older age.
It could be that. It could be. I mean, I had some friends that took some delight in what you would refer to as an upper decker.
This college though, because you had the friend who would poop in the elevator.
And in
other areas.
They had a collection cup. They were taking up money. They were taking up money to send to a little kid overseas, sponsor a child. They had a cup for that. He put something in the cup.
Did he really?
Oh, yeah.
He pooped in the sponsor kids cup? What's wrong?
Well,
but see, at college, you expect some of that.
Yeah.
This is a community neighborhood pool.
He dropped the kids off at the pool. Really not a euphemism.
Just really tired of hearing these stories about people making these choices. Is it so hard to behave a little better?
You got to stay home, Nikki.
Wow. Not only are you already awake, but you're listening to The Riot? Your day is off to a pretty rough start. The Riot on RadioU.
I have been thinking for a while, and sometimes You know how it's like you've got a background thought and then you see something and all of a sudden those background thoughts just zoom.
Come rushing forward?
Right to the front. Yesterday I saw that Lady Gaga was starting her own talk show, Gaga Radio, on Apple Music. And that's when it hit me. It all just came to me in a moment, like a lightning bolt, Nikki. And that is that, I have peaked. Like Obadiah, in fact, I might be on the other side of the peak.
No.
I peaked.
What's the term?
Listen, this is all going to make sense to you. Okay. I'm on the downward slide.
All right. Not
from
jump
my
at
peak.
the shark.
I'm not sure where the peak was, but I'm definitely sure we passed it. Okay. And kind of like a millstone tied around someone's neck and they're thrown into the water, Nikki. I am dragging you down. Now,
I can totally have my own.
Now, you, for probably reasons involving your great sense of charity and love for stray animals, you have decided to not cast me off. And you're so strong that you continue to swim and hold us above the waves.
I'm compassionate with that, yes.
But here's what I see. When I see Lady Gaga, I see potential for you.
Yeah.
There is room for you to get out there and make it happen.
A strong, independent female lead.
Yes. I'm just going to slide into your producer role, color guy, whatever.
If you go back, radio's traditionally the strong male lead with the female co-host. But you're saying we could just totally ditch that.
Oh.
Because I don't need that anymore. I could do it on my own.
Absolutely.
Actually, I don't want to do it on my own, though. I don't want to do it on my own.
I'm going to tell you, are you willing to... look, she has pink hair. You've had pink hair.
I could do it. I just don't want to.
We're going to get you some slightly more flamboyant outfits. And I see a future here, Nikki. I see a career trajectory.
No, but what you don't see is the team of people behind her making all happen.
You don't think she dressed herself for this photo?
No, she did not.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. Didn't do hair and makeup on her own. Probably didn't write any of her stuff to go with it.
Probably not.
Topics were provided. Let's just say that. That's how it goes. So
I'm just saying, Nikki, I feel like the future is Nikki. I want you to let that sink in for a minute, okay? Mm-hmm. I want you to, in your mind, I want you to hear it. The future is Nikki. Maybe I'm just too comfortable here. And I don't want to go and do anything else. Nikki show. All right. Nikki at night. No, I don't want to. Okay. All right. I don't think I want to do anything else. I'm just telling you, there's a trajectory available. Okay. Sometimes to get into space, you just got to cut some dead weight. Sure. You know what I'm saying? You're the weight? Is that what you're saying? No. Nikki, no. Jinx put Max in space. No. Obi put Nikki in space. I don't want to. I'm going to help you. I'm going to fire up that second SRB, and I'm going to get you up there. No, I already said I don't think I'll ever do this with anyone else. And maybe I didn't say with that, though, I wouldn't do it by myself. See? So maybe that's what I meant the whole time. I'm telling you right now, Nikki, with your insider connections, I could. I'm going to help you get the wardrobe and the makeup support you need. And I want riders then. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be great? Maybe it's unpleasant to have to go with people's other, topics they came up with. No way. You could be the new Ellen. You totally diva up there.
It was bad enough the first time around, but now it's worse. Don't believe us? Just keep listening. You'll find out soon enough. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
We going to Walmart, son! Get your friends! So last month, Walmart started telling details, very few, about an upcoming drive-in movie experience in their parking lots, which was supposed to start sometime later this month. Yeah, and man, kudos to Walmart for just coming up with a new idea to do something. Yeah. It's great. Well, drive-ins have become the hotness, Nikki, and Walmart's got all that space. So they say that they are doing a pop-up event tour that is going to be all over the United States at 160 different Walmart locations. If you have a Walmart, it has to be a, what are they called? Supercenter. Supercenter one, only the bigger ones. Now, if you were thinking that means Walmart will be a drive-in now every weekend. No. Basically, if it comes to a Walmart near you, it'll be a one-time event.
Oh, I thought it was going to be like an every weekend.
No.
Oh, that's too bad.
No, it is a one-off event, and it's interesting that they're bringing in some cases, celebrities from the films.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
To basically do like an intro or like not a meet and greet. No one's meeting and greeting anyone, but
from a distance. But we talked about it last month when they had the details. Walmart really is trying to become the place you go to rent movies or buy movies,
right.
Or almost like Amazon, became a movie studio.
Right.
Where Walmart wants to do that with kind of more family-friendly stuff.
So the movies that they may be showing, and of course this will depend on where you are, Wonder Woman, Spy Kids, Space Jam, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which I really need to watch that again.
You liked that, didn't you?
It's great, and it's been a while since I've watched it. Ghostbusters, The Wizard of Oz, Black Panther, E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Such a good movie.
So is this all old movies or Marvel?
Well, I mean, basically, yeah.
Basically, yes.
Black Panther, Spider-Man, Wonder Woman, or it just depends.
The old movies.
E.T. Friday Night Lights is another one that they have in the mix. So here's the thing. You can show up. It is free, but you have to have a ticket. You have to get your ticket in advance. You cannot get a ticket at the gate, okay? You show up.
They got to know how many cars are coming.
They do. You show up in your car. You need an FM radio.
Uh-huh.
So I assume your car probably has one, but if it doesn't, you got to bring one because that's how you're going to hear the movie.
Yeah, it comes through the over the air.
You can bring as many people as you have seatbelts in your car. Okay, so you can't load 20 people in the car and then get out.
If you have a truck, you can't put them in the back.
You can't.
So it's where a seatbelt is.
A mask is required when outside your vehicle. Mm-hmm. So if you're hanging in your car, you're fine. You get out, you have to have a mask on.
Are you allowed to? Because I know with some drive-ins that you could set a blanket out next to your car and then set up chairs.
Interesting that you say that, Nikki. What they want you to know is that for everyone's safety, you must remain inside your car.
I've never been to a drive-in, so maybe I'm wrong, but that doesn't seem as fun for the back seat.
No, it doesn't.
It's can you see it, or is it really just if you're in the front seat?
I don't think I've never done a drive-in where you couldn't get out.
Yeah.
One car per ticket, and you must have a car.
But you
must have a vehicle.
You can bring food, right?
Yes. But you can't bring alcohol. Mm-hmm. They want to let everybody know that this is a family event. No alcohol, please.
Well, they also don't want people then to start wandering out of the vehicles, which tends to happen if you start drinking more.
Yeah. Really?
They want to keep you in. It could be fun. I think it's a fun idea. Again, we don't have a drive-in that's close enough to us, but it'd be interesting to try one.
This is one of those things that I think sounds super interesting, and I'd be willing to try until it's time to actually do it, and then I'd be like, let's just stay home.
Well,
I have it on Blu-ray.
I don't want to spend any extra money, and I don't have to wait anywhere. So there's no money,
but
I might have to wait.
You're probably going to have to wait.
I'm not interested then either, but it's a neat idea. I think it's clever. Good use of space and good use to provide something fun for people to do.
Totally agree. So you can get more details if this is your thing at thewalmartdrivein.com.
And you have to, again, have your tickets.
Maybe the Riot would sound better if they spent less time improving their lives at their gym. That was sarcasm. It's the Riot on RadioU.
The CW. It's the network where you watch all those DC shows. I like The Flash. Have you watched Stargirl?
Actually, every time we do talk about
They're
CW,
getting a new Batwoman.
Normally everybody says something about Flash. So that seems to be, I don't know if it's still on, but that is
Riverdale.
That's the one.
I like watching 40-year-olds dressed up as high school students.
You're not supposed to notice.
What? It's fine.
And that's in every show.
It is.
It's not just CW, but
it really is.
It's prevalent there.
Okay, so Nikki, the CW, they don't cancel anything ever. Pretty much. I mean, if somebody watches, if the ratings come back and there's a person watching, they're like, you just got picked up for 10 seasons.
Then your show will go for 5 or 6 seasons.
Yeah. But that's not always true, which tells me it's got to be bad.
Did they cancel a show?
There was a game show that it started on it. I've never, just to be clear, didn't know this was a thing, but whatever. It's called The Taskmaster.
The Taskmaster?
It was apparently a British game show that they had imported, and they're like,
oh, I've seen this.
Have you?
I watched one of the episodes on YouTube. It's a total British show. I love the guy who's on it.
why don't you marry him?
Okay, well, thanks for bringing that to the show. Good for you. Greg Davies is a comedian. He's really funny. Not everything's funny to everyone.
Yeah. You know,
we all
sometimes
have our own different senses of humor.
sometimes people make a little joke and they think it's funny, but other
Some
people
get
don't.
offended and other people appreciate the humor.
Stick around for examples.
Yes, but it is way British. Like when you watch it, sometimes you can't understand it because it's different. Its humor's different. The context is different. It's just the examples they give in it. It's just different. So I'm not surprised.
Well, it managed to get
One episode?
One episode.
Even I
and
scrubbed
they
through
canceled it. Wow.
Yeah, I watched it on YouTube, but it seemed like they were just taking the British show and just bringing you right over.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that sometimes that's really successful. You know, that's where American Idol came from.
No, but you switch it to our humor.
No, I know.
And I don't think they did. And I spent a good portion going, huh? You know, trying to figure out what the humor was about.
Well, I'll tell you right now, if it's British humor and Nikki can't laugh at it, you have a problem.
It's similar to Obi and I. There was this old show called Top Gear.
Come on.
And it's still on, but it's not like on the way that we used to watch it. It was different back
Nikki
then.
and I are Top Gear snobs.
The beginning.
When it was really good.
We always loved everything. It was like a sandwich. You know, you had a piece of bread we loved. You had the inside filling part, which was very British and very boring. Usually an interview with someone who would be British that we wouldn't know. And that makes sense for them because the show was for their audience. And then you'd have something else flashy at the end that we would enjoy.
Yeah.
So we just, you know, you like the outer stuff.
And Taskmaster was all inner
Inside.
and no outer.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Well, it got canceled. So I just want you to know it is possible to not make it.
To just have one episode show. Oh, that's too bad.
It is.
Yeah!
You were one of the lucky few who missed the riot when they were live. Yet here you are.
I also like to live dangerously.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Do you find yourself wondering about your ancestors? Just stop. Who cares? Who cares where you came from? You know what? Just be a good old American mutt like me. Like, where'd you come from? Oh, I don't know.
Well, it does seem fascinating, which is why everyone did those ancestry sort of.
Do you know? Okay.
But there was always such speculation around those companies.
I'm not ready to get into the story yet, Nikki. I'm still stuck on this DNA thing.
Yeah.
So, okay. You find out what your DNA is from, so what? You can restoke ancient hatreds? Like,
no,
yes,
I mean,
I'm from Scotland, and now all of a sudden you're like watching Braveheart and running around hating English people.
Well, I think some people like to know where your family and the details where that came from, and then others were they using it to like find relatives as well, or just to see where you might have been from?
I don't want any more relatives. I'm having a hard time keeping up with the ones that I have.
Well, this is back then. We don't want it now.
I don't want to find out where I'm from. I don't want to know. Like, who the heck knows? Wherever it is, it probably wasn't great, so whatever. Or if we were great, obviously we fell from grace because look where we are now.
But I think people wanted to look back and say, oh, they were like associated with someone famous or a real person in history.
Nikki, I get by on my own fame. Thank you.
Your own fame?
I don't need to know what I can to a certain extent. Okay. I hate the commercials for like Ancestry.com. And I had a family member that said to me, and it was a weird combination of I died on the inside, but I don't know. I just couldn't stand it. They were like, I think I'm finally ready to find out who I am. They said this without irony. They weren't joking.
You sure? They were serious?
Yeah, they were serious. And I was like, wait, you're not allowed to just repeat the commercial to me. You at least have to pretend that you had an original thought. You can't just repeat the commercial. I'll accept that from a child that thinks that the toy they're buying is actually going to send them into outer space, because I've had that experience.
Well, some people, we're all different, Obi, and some people really wanted to know more about their history.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, Nikki and I've wasted all of this on my editorializing.
Do you promise when you come back to actually give the details then? We're not adding any more editorial stuff.
No.
You're going to still keep adding that in?
I won't promise, but I'm going to try to help, because just a heads up, you aren't the only person that wants to know more about you.
How to survive the riot. Do the complete opposite of everything they say. You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
A few minutes ago, I was rambling incoherently about DNA testing, and that was all spurred on by the following story. Behold, Nikki and I giving you details.
You're welcome.
Are you ready? Ancestry.com is selling itself, which some of your ancestors may have done. Sorry. Is selling 75% of itself to the Blackstone Group for $4.7 billion. Now, here's what that means. They are basically privately, it's not a public thing, it's a private sale. But do you know what Blackstone gets out of this?
They get
all your DNA info.
Your DNA. So doing DNA testing for like you and even like your pets had been all the rage for the last several years.
Yeah.
I mean, for a while there, I think that was the gift given to everyone of like, here, I don't know what to get you.
You guys can't see me rolling my eyes, but it's fine.
Here's a test that you can take so you can learn more about, your family's history and you. But the concern was that everybody just kept saying, hey, it's just building a database on everyone.
Right.
And
a DNA database.
Which is scarier than you might realize it to be. People are like, no. It's just Ancestry.com.
They would never sell your info.
All that stuff and all that. Well, then you fast forward to this, and now they're being sold to a company where perhaps some of the rules that the first company had when gathering your information might not qualify or be the same rules, so that your information can be used now that this new company comes in.
Right.
Which could have been the plan most of the time, all along.
So think about it like this. Ancestry.com, you may have signed some sort of paper, or like you looked in their terms of service and they're like, oh, we'll never sell your information. And they didn't. They sold themselves.
They sold the whole company.
And when they sold the company, then the people that bought the company got your information. You see the hook there, right? I will just tell you again, from my own perspective, I realize that we live in an ever shrinking world where privacy is less and less of a thing because we're giving it all away. And I will just say, I don't care about my shopping habits. I don't care if you want to know what I'm looking at online. To a certain extent, I guess if you even want to read my text messages, I'd like to think there's some privacy there, but all right, fine, whatever. But when you want into my body, that's when I start going, all right, we have now officially, if we were wondering where my line was, there's my line. And part of the reason why I feel that way is this, is that they are more and more finding genetic markers for diseases and different things like that. And they, keep in mind, they don't know what's going to happen to you. But I continue to believe that this is the kind of stuff that as time goes on, it'll be harder for you to get insurance.
Sure.
It'll be harder, like on and on and on. And they're like, no, we would never do that. Yes, they would. I promise.
So it started as 1996 as a family history website. But obviously, they grew really fast. And there's a lot of money in DNA and that sort of side of things. So that's what they're doing. They're selling a good portion of it. I'm
telling you, when it comes to your body, don't give any more information than you have to. Like that, to me, that's my line. Like you want to put a thing in my house that's listening to me all the time, but lets me search Google. I've done that. But like, there's a few other things that I'm out on.
So they're saying they're selling 75% of the company to Blackstone Group. So that's what the plan is for $4.7 billion, including debt.
Man.
Using advanced technology, we've digitized and transcoded Obadiah and Nikki into a purely digital format. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Hand sanitizer is hard to find, guys. It's hard. Do you know where your hand sanitizer is right now? Do you have enough?
I still think all that stuff is hard to find when you need it, when you're down to your last amount. But when you don't, that's when the day you go and you're like, oh, here's a new shipment, and you didn't pick up an extra one. It's like, it just seems to always be when you run out.
Nikki, how far would you be willing to go to get your hand sanitizer?
I have a big jug of it I bought from Costco one day.
But what happens
and then
when you
just
run out?
you refill it.
With what?
With more of it.
What if
it's
you
a
don't
big
have
thing.
more?
Then,
You don't have more.
then I don't know what to tell you.
How far would you be willing to go?
What are you supposed to do?
What would you do
People are willing to pay the price.
for hand sanitizer? Mark Gray of Sioux City, Iowa, he knows how far he would go.
What did he do?
Well, there were 3 burglaries reported the morning of August 4th in Sioux City. That would be 2 days ago. First burglary was reported at 1:42 a.m. at Counseling and Support Services on Nebraska Street.
Oh.
Police said that a window was broken to gain entry, but they didn't find anybody there. Fast forward to 5:15 a.m. There's a second burglary. Security National Bank, Pierce Street. Windows are broken.
Nothing else is disturbed, though, as far as they know?
Seems to be nothing disturbed. 5:46 a.m. Officers respond to a burglary at Trattoria Fresco. I believe it's a restaurant. Broken window. They investigate. They find the man still in the building.
And they see the connection.
He has been breaking into places and only taking hand sanitizer.
Why can't he just go grab it from the store or something? Or you can order it online.
I don't know.
He just didn't want to. He just wanted it for free.
Maybe he wanted the really good stuff. Maybe the businesses have the good kind.
I think he just likes breaking windows. And this combined his 2 loves.
Could be.
Hand sanitizer and window breaking.
You don't think he's drinking the sanitizer, do you?
I don't know. Remember the good old days? Do you remember the good old days where people were
don't.
just drinking hand sanitizer? Like
Well,
the
that's all
hairspray?
there was to
That's
it?
all it was. You
Yeah.
didn't need it desperately for safety. You just heard about people drinking it.
I don't know. But this guy broke into 3 places, and all he stole was the sanitizer.
And that's what, maybe he resells it.
Broke into a bank. When you break into a bank, you can get the money to buy all the sanitizer you want, right?
If they don't have it on hand, that'd be harder to get into. Remember the
guess.
coin shortage too? So maybe there was no coins on hand.
Maybe there was. So he's
He's in trouble. He's been
in trouble.
arrested.
3 counts of third-degree burglary is what he's been charged with. But
Where'd
I'm
the
just
hand
telling
sanitizer
you,
go?
I don't know. That's the real question.
Is it
isn't
returned or is it back in evidence?
Let me just say this, that this is a cautionary tale. Without the grace of God, there go I. Or, more accurately, if I run out of hand sanitizer, there go I. So this is just a reminder that you might need to stock up, okay? Because if you ran out, there's no telling how far you could get pushed.
You're listening to The Riot. Let's all work together today to live life with the patience of a Nikki dealing with an Obadiah.
Gotta hang in there and get through it.
You're listening to The Riot.
You know, I made the leap from Android to iPhone this year, and I'll have to say there is one little asterisk that is like, ugh.
Keeping you from 100% like amazingly happily switched
Yes.
over?
I don't know if you guys heard, but I think it was this week or maybe it was last week, Microsoft announced that their xCloud game streaming service was leaving beta and it was going to become publicly available. And how you get it is signing up for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. I can't remember exactly what that service is, but it's basically $15 a month. There's usually about 100 games that you can play, and that also gets you Xbox Live Gold and whatever. And they're adding xCloud to this. So this means that those 100-something games, you can play them on your phone or on your tablet. Or I think maybe even from a browser window, though I'm not sure about that one. But that would be if you have an Android phone or an Android tablet.
Oh, not anymore for you.
Not on iOS.
Oh, I'm sure there's a way around it.
Maybe, but what we don't know is why they're not allowing it. But speculation is because Apple already offers a game service.
Yeah, they're arcade.
And they don't want competing services on their platform. And that means...
Do Do you think it's Apple keeping them off or Microsoft not wanting it on?
No, it's most likely Apple keeping it off because Stadia, which is Google's streaming service, not allowed on iOS.
Sure.
NVIDIA, their streaming service,
not allowed
on iOS. And now here's xCloud from Microsoft, also not being allowed.
Well, you could have a gaming, just inexpensive phone with no cell service.
Well, it's funny you say that.
Just have a Wi-Fi thing.
I saw a lot of people that were like, oh, I'm just going to buy a cheap Android phone.
Yeah.
But the idea here is that with 5G, speeds are supposed to become astronomically wonderful. It's the best thing that's ever happened. And you would be able to play, a console game on your phone where you are. But that is unless you have bought into the iPhone infrastructure.
It's fine. I mean,
they'll figure it out.
Everybody will eventually learn to play along with each other, but, they're wanting to push arcade.
The big thing that they're saying is that Amazon got a really good deal from Apple because, they've made up because now Apple TV shows up on Amazon Fire TVs now. Mm-hmm. And so the rumor is that Microsoft wants the same kind of deal that Amazon got.
Yeah, they did.
Hey, you don't charge them, you don't charge us.
And I want to know sometimes the contract stuff behind, like what's the money they're talking about in order to be able to have this app or to do this or do that.
How does it work?
You want to be one of those power players in those meetings. Be like, no, we want $1 billion more. Or whatever number they're talking about.
Make it $1.5 billion.
Exactly.
I don't know.
It's just fascinating to learn the behind-the-scenes stuff because I'm sure there's a lot of meetings about that, and a lot of arguments, and a lot of money.
I'm sure that's true.
You might be thinking that this won't be quite as bad the second time around. Well, you'd be greatly mistaken. You're listening to the worst of the Riot podcast.
You know what I don't like? I don't like people manipulating me. Or, for example, somebody's like, so what are you doing tomorrow night? And you're like, okay, look, don't ask me what I'm doing tomorrow night. Just tell me what you want from me.
Oh, so they're asking because they want something?
Yeah. Or, that whole thing where people will talk to you a certain way or act a certain way because they're trying to get you to invite them or get you to do. I don't respond well to that stuff. And I feel like I'm just surrounded by things like that all the time. Not always by people, advertising is like that. Maybe sometimes people are like that. I feel just in some way, I just want some people to just level with me. Like, do you need help moving? Don't ask me what I'm doing Saturday. Just say, can you help me move on Saturday? And I won't want to help you. But
you'll do it.
I will. And you know what I like? I like having a moment of honesty like that where it's like, I don't really want to help you, but I'll totally do it.
Do you think, though, that there are different people, do some like it the way you don't like it and others prefer? Like, are we all different with how we want to be communicated to in that way?
Maybe. Like, maybe we are. And it's funny. That's actually, I will say this, and maybe what you're saying is even better, is that when I talk to God, I love the fact that between God and I, we don't have to pretend. I don't ever feel like I talk to God and he's like, so what are you doing later? Do you have any plans? Okay. Because I was hoping you would blank. Like, I don't get that. I feel like when I communicate with God, when he and I talk, there is a real, just gut level. Like if I didn't get something right, I've never had God, that's funny, I've never had God be mean, but I've literally had God say to me like, well, I could have went better. God communicates with me in a way in a way that I understand and get. And if you hear me talking right now and the idea of people telling you what they mean sounds like a nightmare, I don't know. Maybe God will talk to you a little bit differently than he does to me. But I appreciate the honesty that I get to have in my relationship with Jesus. I don't have to pretend. If everything's great, I don't have to pretend they're not. If everything's not great, I don't have to pretend that they are. I can be honest with God, and I feel like in prayer, God is honest with me and meets me where I am. He'll do the same thing for you. I'm not trying to sell you something. I'm not trying to manipulate you into starting a relationship with God. Nikki and I do not get a bonus or a gold star anywhere if you make this choice. I'm literally talking to you about it because I think, let me say that a different way. I know it has changed my life for the better. I sure would like for you to experience the same thing in your own life. if you're ready to have some gut level honesty between you and the person that made you, say, Jesus, I want that. I want you in my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit. I don't want to be manipulated. I don't want to be lied to. I just want some truth between you and me. Ooh, that's good. I like that.
Is it healthy eating so many snacks, chips, and Oreos every single morning? No, of course not. But they do it for you.
Too many guys got the stomach for this line of work.
That's real love. It's the Riot on RadioU.
You know, the whole stay-at-home thing has been hard on a lot of industries. The restaurant industry, the bar industry, because apparently people just getting drunk at home. Like on and on. But, Nikki, there's a couple industries that have had, and I quote, bumper profits.
A resurgence, an increase.
I was like, what's a bumper profit? Because I actually didn't know. That just means that it's very large.
Yeah, okay.
So it's just that even they're like, whoa.
They saw increases?
Yeah.
Anything recreation-wise, like bikes, pools, outdoor stuff, things to keep you busy while you were at home, saw huge stuff.
Well, Nikki, I've got, a little bumper right here. Have you heard of Nintendo?
Well, yeah. Oh, it had a big bumper year. Which is hard because it was already big to begin with.
They were doing just fine. They say that if you take their profits for the quarter.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so that is
the spring quarter?
April, May, June. They made over $1 billion, and they say that is 6 times more than they made in the same quarter last year.
Well, everybody
6 times more.
Everybody wanted Animal Crossing. Everybody wanted a Switch. I didn't see as much like clamoring for the Switch lights, but people took those when they couldn't find the Switches.
Yeah, everybody wanted that classic Switch, the larger one with the detachable Joy-Cons, but a lot of people took the
they were going for
one.
like $600, $700, $800 there because everybody was so bored. They wanted something to keep them occupied.
And the money kept rolling in.
Wow,
from
over
every
$1 billion?
side.
That's good for them.
$1 billion.
And why are they still selling stuff for so much then? Why can't they just lower their prices? We know you're making money.
Nikki, that's the goal.
That's why you made so much money.
The goal is to once you make money, is to make more of it.
Well, they're doing that. Congratulations.
And making money is not that you're generating money. It's that you must take it from someone else.
I know.
I mean, I don't want to get into this whole mercantilism idea. And yet at the same time, in order for me to have money, I'm going to need you to give me yours.
That's what Nintendo deals with right there.
It's real. So just a heads up. They're doing fine.
Wonder if that's continuing. Like, is it still hard to find a Switch, or is it back to normal?
Funny that you ask. I was looking. There must have been a shipment of the standard Switches that went out this week, because I saw on a website that I check, they were showing that they were available at Best Buy, Amazon, like Walmart, and somebody else. And I noticed that tweet was about an hour old. So I clicked the links to see, because, we know people that are still looking for Switches. Mm-hmm. They were sold out everywhere. Like as soon as they came in stock, they immediately sold out.
Well, that went back to, there was some nefarious reasons for why the Switch was so hard to find. If you go back to, I think it was March, a very well-known person set up a free, what's the word for it? There's a term where basically you can sign up for these alerts through this thing that this guy created.
Right.
And it was real. It created alerts so that buyers could buy bulk amounts of Switches to then sell to the rest of us who are a little slower on the buying side,
So basically, they would go buy it all up at retail, and then they would be able to sell it to you at a larger
much
price.
Higher price. And that really hurt everybody else who just wanted to buy one for a normal price.
It absolutely happened. So there's actually a YouTube channel I watch. I love this so much. They sell their own merch, and one of them, their shirts, it basically says, leave one for the next guy.
Yeah, don't take them all.
And I love that, because you're just like, yeah, I like that.
It's bad. Let's see. Andy texted, said it's still hard to find them in our area. And Josh said our Walmart said they get 2 per month. That's it.
2 per month?
2 per month. So I assume then that means they are still hard to find.
If you missed out on the next Riot moment when it originally aired, you don't know how lucky you are. You're listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Nikki, where are you at on rice?
On rice? I
Yeah.
love it, but I can't have as much of it. But
Why
I
not?
love it.
Why not?
Because it's a bad carb. And people are like, it's a good carb. No.
Why is it a bad carb?
This is just rice, and you can't have a little. We're just not the type of people where you're like, yeah, you could just have a tiny bit of rice. I will just want just the rice. It's delicious.
Well, according to this, if you eat a lot of rice, you're at greater risk for heart disease.
Okay.
So congratulations.
So you're not supposed to have, again, that greater risk of if you eat a lot of rice.
I'm eating rice like crazy these days.
You do?
Just
I didn't know
piling
you
on.
were into it more.
Oh, yeah. Like
I'll pick rice over pasta any day.
depends
but
on the
I do
pasta
like it.
probably, or maybe the topping. But yes, like tons of rice. I get basmati rice. Just cook that up.
And it also, once I have an Instapot, and once I realized rice wasn't hard to make,
Yeah.
and it's faster than there.
How
You
long does
just
it
add
take in an Instapot?
I think it's like, maybe 8 minutes or something,
Okay.
maybe. But then you add a little pat of butter in it, a little something.
I don't even add a little pat. I'm just
you big
like,
pat-
just like
add
here's
the
a
whole
hunk of butter.
Add the whole thing. So
And
yeah,
sometimes
it's
I'll
good.
put some like a garlic salt on it. Just kind of mix it up. It's delicious. I could just eat that.
Yeah, that's the problem. So
And then sometimes I'll mix something in, like some fixins, like a meat or I don't know, whatever. Just
So they're
eat it.
saying what if we eat too much rice?
They say that you're getting arsenic is a naturally occurring. It occurs naturally in rice. So as the crop of rice is grown, it gets kind of sucked in and it holds a lot of arsenic. And they say that you're 6% more likely to die of heart disease.
If you have a lot of rice because of that?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
So hooray!
Yay! I figured that and the butter was going to hurt me anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah, I don't know, like butter. Nikki, speaking of butter, have you ever heard of Artisan Butter?
Yeah.
What is that?
Like-
I started reading about that yesterday, and they're like, Artisan Butter is on the rise, and I'm like, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, it's like artisanal, where it's crafted with different stuff in it. It's not just plain butter.
I mean, I recently moved to a Kerrygold Irish butter.
Yeah, it'd be like that, but then some. Wouldn't be from such a mass producer, which Kerrygold is.
I gotta find
A
local butter.
Yeah, you need locally sourced stuff to make the butter that would feature like honey from local bees and cloves and all this stuff.
It's probably a lot less expensive to get local butter.
No, it's not. It's actually way more expensive
than it is to buy that
Nope.
mass-produced garbage.
And it's going to come in some like glass jar that you'll never use again, which you can't throw away.
What are you talking about?
So
No way.
Yeah, and it'll have some weird top to it. It's basically just a mason jar that they bought from someplace cheap, but you got to spend more money on it because it's artisanal.
This mason jar came from China, but this butter's local, I promise.
I gave during the last fundraiser, and all I got was this crappy morning show. This is The Riot on listener-supported Radio U.
I've got huge news, Nikki. Are you ready?
We're ready.
Someone who's famous for directing a movie that hasn't been released is rumored to be directing a movie that hasn't been written.
Wow, that's pretty.
Wow,
They're
guys!
taking a chance on that. I think I saw that, and that made me wonder because the movie they talk about, like that she directed, I don't know what it is. So
It's not
been
out.
That makes more sense then.
Yeah, so we're talking about Nia DaCosta. She directed the Candyman reboot.
Is that a horror movie?
It is. Nikki, there was a Candyman. I couldn't tell you how long ago it was. Like, it's old. 90s, mid-90s horror. I know this because that guy, I used to see him at the airport all the time because he lived around here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The
so
guy
it's
who
like,
played the character?
Yeah, he's the Candyman. So, that's terrifying.
I know. You can see him in real life.
It's 5 a.m. You're at the airport and you're just like, no! Oh, it's you again.
It's not terrifying if you've never seen the movie, though.
And he used to come into the record store I worked at.
Yeah.
He was in there all the time.
Weird.
Yeah. So that reboot, it was supposed to come out and supposed to come out and supposed to come out. And like everything else, it's not coming out. Well, she is
Do they
supposed
at least think it's supposed to be amazing, or like what's the buzz on it?
Nikki, it's funny you'd say buzz because he was killed by bees.
Didn't know that.
Way to go, Nikki.
I spoiled it and I didn't even know.
You're killing it. Just like the bees did. I don't wait, what was the question?
Well, is there some sort of buzz around her remake of it? And then that ended up ushering in what they're saying she'll do as the next movie.
The director of Captain Marvel 2.
They're saying that she's the one who will probably do that. And that's just some people are just confused because there isn't a track record to then support putting her on such a bigger project.
Yeah.
So they must have liked what the Candyman one is going to be. Oh, bees!
You did it again!
I did it again! You just can't help it.
We'll see who makes more honey.
We'll see what happens then.
All right. You know what? I feel like to me, I know it's not true, and I know we'll get there, but it feels like Marvel movies are over. I feel like Avengers wrapped it up. We had a little epilogue with the Spider-Man movie, and now it's like,
You're just not as interested?
Well, I
mean, Captain Marvel did really well, though.
Yes. I'm not saying I'm not interested. It just seems like that they're not making them anymore. Mm-hmm. I know they are, and we've just been all virused up.
Yeah, but the excitement for some of that is over, too.
It's not quite what it was. Though I will tell you, I remain very interested in the Black Widow movie.
Sure, but imagine you're coming back out of this and it's been so long since you've gone to a movie. Will there just be an explosion of everybody wanting to go once a bigger movie like a Marvel one comes out?
Cool, and then we can all talk about how Black Widow gave us all the vid.
Because you just want to go back to see anything.
I want to go to the movies.
I know you do.
Which I guess means I want to go to my basement.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Nick, he just texted, "Hey, Obadiah, how's that Transformers show going? Is it kid friendly?" I watched one episode.
Oh, you didn't watch any more?
No,
I thought you liked it.
I did. Sometimes.
If you like it, then you're supposed to continue it.
I don't know.
And then sometimes you watch things that you don't end up liking, and it's like, well, why'd you take the time to watch it?
I wish I could. I don't understand how it is, how I interact with my TV, but a lot of times I'll sit down and be like, something I want to watch. Okay, this is true. I don't know if anybody else is like this, but let's say I sit down and watch TV and I'm tired. Mm-hmm. If I'm tired, I won't want to watch something I like because I want to pay attention to it and I want to enjoy it.
So you'll just watch whatever.
So I'll just be like, I don't know, YouTube. I don't know, sitcom. I don't whatever, because I'm just I'm too tired to pay attention to something I like. Is that dumb?
I don't think so, but don't let that stop you from trying to push through and get through some of these shows.
Okay. Because that has kept me from watching all kinds of things.
Yeah, if not, do what I do. I watch the first couple episodes and the last two. That's it.
You just skip the middle?
Everything else is just filler to create drama.
It only has 6 episodes.
Well, I was talking with something that has a bit more episodes.
6 episodes, 23 minutes apiece. I mean, they're really cutting out the fat.
Well, if you really want to know how the story goes, first and second, and then last one. That's it. And watch the last 10 minutes of the 5th episode to see what conflict at the moment.
Yeah, but we're supposed to enjoy the journey. Mm-mm. Isn't that the point?
No,
Aren't we watching TV to enjoy the journey?
We are not. We're living our own journey, and we're too tired to experience too many other journeys.
I don't know. That's where I'm at. That's what's kept me from watching more Transformers. It's why I haven't watched Umbrella Academy.
Well, Nick, you might...
And video games. That's the other thing is I only watch TV when I'm tired of playing games, and then I'm like,
too tired after that. Nick, if you might actually watch it faster than Obi, so let us know.
Why don't you let me know if it's adult friendly?
Tell if it's good for him.
Get back to me on that. That'd be great.
That's your homework.
This was the Worst of the Riot, and we'd like to congratulate you on having the stomach to stick around to the very end. The Riot exists because RadioU exists, and RadioU only exists because of your support. Find out more and give now at RadioU.com/donate.
I don't have the power to ruin them all at once.
But you can make them uncomfortable.